right, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being on. We'll let Coach Mason make a few comments, then we'll open it up for your questions, Coach.
So glad to be on. Hope everybody's doing well. I know we're in the midst of COVID, and I know we're all getting better in this process. Hopefully, everybody's had a chance to get vaccinated. I know we're all moving in that direction. I was just talking to Bobo, and Bobo told me to make sure that I don't use any Vanderbilt or Stanford words. And I said, Bobo, don't worry about it. You'll be all right, buddy. But it's good to see everybody. Again, man, it's been a fast and furious last couple of months, and we've been at it. Whether you talk about recruiting, whether you talk about football, whether you talk about spending time with our guys, that's a greater part of what we do here. Is make sure we can help our guys get from where they are to where they want to be. It's been fun. Right now, a couple of days into spring ball, heading into practice number 4, getting ready for a fast and furious practice as we get ready to hit a little bit, do a little red zone goal line, so that'll be fun today. But with that, I'll turn it over for questions and see what we can talk about today. So with that being said, the floor is yours.
All right, Coach, thank you. Our first question will be from Jason Caldwell. When you ask the question, if y'all could just put your affiliation when you ask the question so Coach knows where you're from. Jason?
Jason Caldwell, inside Auburn Tigers, 247 Network. Coach, just your thoughts on 3-4-4-3. I know you're going to be versatile, but how helpful is it that you come into a defensive front group that has some versatility with guys like Colby Woods, like Hughes Walker, some of those guys? How beneficial is that to implement a defense when you have that versatility?
I think it's great when you can have an opportunity to step into a place like Auburn and look and see exactly what they have been available to you. I think it's always about players, right? So when we talk about in football, how do you put guys in the best possible position to permeate some success? And coming in, we've got all different types. We've got big guys, man. We've got long guys. So like for me, it's a nice smorgasbord of players, man, who have different skill sets. Like to be able to see, Stone Handy, who can be a 4 technique, but who can also slide to an end. Like to see, Wooten as he can play inside backer, but he can also play, outside backer and walk in space. And I can say the same thing about, Zacoby. I can say the same thing, about Owen. I think the versatility of the front 7, okay, is going to be huge for us, just in terms of speed, size, athleticism, and trying to create one-on-one matchups. So, like for me right now, I'm like a kid at the candy shop.
Mark Murphy?
Yes, inside the Auburn Tigers also in 24/7 Sports. Coach, how important is it to have a good spring this year, considering, number one, the players didn't go through spring at all last year, and their preseason was sort of messed up also, and it's an entirely new coaching staff they're working with on defense, plus they're learning a new system.
Yeah, Mike, I think it's extremely important for these guys to really, settle into where we're at. But it's about coaches meeting these guys where they are, and I think that started when we got here. Just like in what we did in our morning conditioning sessions and what we were able to do, like with our fundamental movement pieces. I think for our guys just needed to get used to the language. I think it starts with language, okay, like in expectations of in position play. And I think once we got to the grass, I think what we started to see, after several days of spending time with these guys, was that these guys started to understand, exactly what we were talking about. So I think it starts with the language barrier, a little bit, what they call things, what we're calling things now. And then once you get past the language barrier, I think football, is really a universal language. I think for our guys have been receptive to some of the new terminology, just trying to simplify, in things where we can, but really trying to take some of what they've done and add it to what we do. There's no use in reinventing the wheel as a coach. Okay, man, if it's a slant technique, let's call it a slant technique. If it's easier for them to remember, again, that's the part as a coach where you got to meet guys where they are so that, we can get to a faster and greater understanding of how we want something played. That's been fun. The guys have been receptive, and I've kidded them a little bit about some of the things that we've implemented, and they've chided me a little bit. So it's been fun. We've gone back and forth, but they do understand the expectation.
Pascal.
Hey, Derek. David Pascal with the Chattanooga Times Free Press. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Want to know just what this has been like for you personally. Obviously,
Yeah.
you had 7 years at Vanderbilt, and that's
Right.
obviously a challenging place, but you did some good things with multiple bowls and 3 straight wins over Tennessee. Just adjusting back to being a defensive coordinator, what kind of challenge has that been, and what's the biggest difference?
You know, David, it's fun for me. I'm a soldier. I can lead, man, but I can also follow. And I think, you know, like those are the important things I think Coach Harsin was looking for as he put together this staff. You know, guys with experience, guys who understand, you know, man, how to get things done the way he wants it done. And that's important. Coach Harsin is the tip of the spear. So for me, it's been great just to, you know, focus on the ball, focus on the recruiting, focus on, you know, development of players. And what does that look like? And then just talking about the relationships. I think I'm a relationship, you know, coach. I mean, everybody likes to say that they are, man, but I spend a lot of time, you know, like with these guys, you know, man, getting to know their stories. You know, once you understand the why and you can establish trust, the opportunity, you know, man, to grow fast, okay, and grow quickly is what's needed for us right now. I mean, we're in the midst of spring ball, still during the pandemic. So with that being said, you know, I mean, our meetings look different. Okay, man, they're not like the meetings of old. I mean, you're still in this idea of okay, and I'm going to send you information. We're going to talk about some things. I'm going to trust at the end of the day that you're going to be able to take this information, look at it, and if you have questions, bring those questions to the classroom. And I think these guys have done a terrific job of being able to, you know, be trusted with the information that they're given and have questions when they step into our meetings. And I think that trust is reciprocal. I mean, it takes time on both sides, but I think we've gotten to it pretty fast.
Thanks.
You got it.
Philip Marshall. Philip.
Sorry about that. Philip Marshall, Auburn 247 Sports. Along those same lines, what do you kind of learn as a head coach that might make you a better coordinator, having been through the ups and downs of being a head coach as well?
Yeah, Mr. Marshall, I think it's a great question. I mean, like for me, during my time at Vanderbilt, I really had a chance to do both. I was head coach, but then I had to come back and call plays for a couple of years. And you know, in that time, what you realize is that, you know, from the technology standpoint, being able to utilize like the tools that are available to you nowadays, you know, the information that we, you know, get to young men has changed over the last 10 years. You know, it used to be, you know, videotape. They used to come over to your office. It used to give them a DVD. Nowadays, okay, man, it's about, you know, PowerPoint presentations and overlays and everything else, you know, under the sun. So I think the ability to, you know, streamline, you know, like the information for your guys, but also, you know, teaching tools, okay, man, because we have different types of learners. We have kinesthetic learners, auditory learners. We've got guys, man, who need to see it, touch it, feel it. And so with that being said, I think for me, just being able to make sure I can utilize the time. Time is an unrenewable resource in this deal. So, man, I understood that as a head coach, but now, you know, coming back as a coordinator, man, you got to value the time. Value your time, value their time, and make all the time count.
Thanks.
You got it.
Jordan Hill.
Hey, Derek, Jordan Hill with the Black Auburn News. I had a question just about your relationship with Coach Harsin. He sort of talked about, you know, your families that had, you know, gone on vacation before.
Right.
You know, how did that relationship come about? And when you were looking at opportunities, what made the Auburn one, you know, the one for you?
Well, you know, looking at opportunities, I think that for me, I thought I was going back to the NFL. Like, to be honest, I didn't think I was going to take a college job. I felt like for me, maybe I needed a break from the college game, like just a little bit. You know, after 7 years at Vanderbilt, and have been contacted by several, you know, college teams about, you know, their opportunities. But when Coach Harsin called, we had a prior relationship. I've known Coach Harsin for years, and for us to have gone on Nike trips and, you know, Kess and my wife Leanne to have spent time together. I mean, we've got children that are around the same age. You know, a couple that have, you know, similar stories just in terms of you know, like dealing with growing up. You know, like as a coach's child. I think for us, man, there was just so many things that we connected on. Some of those ideas were philosophical. Some of those ideas were just about life and ball and how we see family. And so when we had an opportunity to talk, the conversation was very much to the point about his vision for Auburn, and that vision was set in stone. It was very strategic. I mean, it had all the makings of what I thought a good leader should talk about coming into a situation like this, which I thought was unique. And for him to get me to come up here on my way home, because believe me, man, I was on my way back home. He got me to come through here. We sat down for a couple of hours, had a chance to talk ball, but it was more how we connected on the ideologies of how he wanted to run the program and what he wanted and what he needed from me. And so, with that being said, I talked to my wife. It was a quick turnaround, and I found myself really loving this place from the time that I touched down. I drove into the city. I didn't know what to expect. They called it the Plains. I got here and I found, a terrific city, really nice, community, but like a university that has a lot to sell. Okay, when you talk about the student-athlete experience. So, from the city to the, university experience to what Coach Harsh is bringing, all that seemed to fit for me. So it was an easy decision. I feel good about, where we are right now. And, believe me, I would have made this decision 10 out of 10 times. Auburn's the place for me, War Eagle.
Bill Cameron?
Hey, Coach, Bill Cameron, ESPN 106.7 The Drive here in town. You talk about the front seven. Talk about the back end. It appears you have a good bit of talent and flexibility back there as well.
Yeah, Mr. Cameron, I look at where we are right now. Smoke Monday is going to lead this group. There's no doubt about that. But I've seen LT, we call him Tennyson, show up, and he's been phenomenal back there. In the first three practices in terms of how him and Smoke have worked together in terms of their ability to communicate. On the corners, I think we've got really good players. Like Roger, I think is a tremendous talent. I think he has the ability to play on Sunday. But what I want right now is for this young man to show up big, on Saturdays, and so that's what we're working on. We're working on his ability to play, from different platforms, and I'm seeing the same thing from Simpson, as well. I mean, tremendously talented. He's got great short area quickness, good long speed. And then Nehemiah Pritchard right now is starting at the nickel position. And so everybody's battling. There's a lot of competition back there on the back end. The safety group has got to continue to communicate. But like I said, Smoke has played a lot of football. So everybody around him is sort of looking for him to make the communication go and work. And I've asked Smoke to step back a little bit and let these guys, speak. Because when everybody communicates, we all get better. And he's going to need this group to play with him, okay, and not watch him, as we start to play. So I think the corners, at the corner position, we have depth. And I think at the safety position, we need more experience. And so, these guys are getting valuable experience in spring ball. And then the nickel position between LT, Nehemiah, and then when we get Xavier or Zion Puckett back, I think this group is going to be, pretty formidable. But what we got to do is take it one day at a time.